Okay. Trying to get comfortable here. Welcome to part 3. Part 3 of the video entitled My Response to Sa'NeterTv Apology. Sa'Neter comes clean. And we find that Sa'Neter comes clean because he felt as though he was biased against the Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. So he wanted to apologize. And my response to him in part 1 was he would do himself a great favor and he could reach a higher potential if he would stop being biased and would not be biased and embrace all the voices that could be found within this struggle called Black liberation. Now, if Sa'Neter takes this advice, I don't know or not, but we will see. And then in part 2, I responded to some of the things that Brother Ali Muhammad was speaking of in the apology that Sa'Neter had already spoken about. And Ali Muhammad was talking about some of the things that we could do as a group legally in this country. And if we did do that and truly supported such effort, it's a possibility we could gain from that. Then he spoke of how devastating it is for brothers, caught up in the child support system and other legal things. And in part 2, I've spoken about that. Now, in the conclusion, this is the end. I did not really anticipate that I would be talking this long about, in response to Sa'Neter's coming clean or his apology. But again, I love us and I like speaking with you, and we learn from each other. You should question those who know it all. You should question those who basically ignore what you have to say. You should ignore these people who have become nothing but parrots. And the Bible says this, and the Quran says that, and the Elijah Muhammad taught this, and Marcus. Parrots. They have nothing of their own brain. So if you're not speaking nothing coming from your own mind, then your brain is basically doing nothing. You're nothing but a robot and a zombie. So you have in the Nation of Islam, under the leadership of Louis Farrakhan, and this is not to make mockery, but we should wonder about these things. Everybody gets the name Muhammad. So when you said Muhammad, the whole nation turns and looks because everybody has the last name Muhammad. Robots on an assembly line, thinking the same way, dressing the same way, all the time. Robot. Nothing but a product of somebody. Because they are in love with the teachings. The teachings, to teach means I'm training you. Training you to be what? Training you to be my robot. Training you to be my slave. So in essence, you have two slave masters because you're still under the control of the original. And now you're happy to be under the control of a dark-skinned man that you've fallen in love with this new massa. It defeats the purpose of liberation. It defeats the purpose of talking about freedom, when in reality, you're not free. The only thing you did and have done is you changed your slave masters. That's all you've done. And so on another video prior to Sa'Neter making this apology, he posted a video with this brother who is supposed to be an elder, and this elder is speaking positive things about Sa'Neter, which is all good. I am an elder. So why are you biased against me, but you will promote this elder? The difference is this elder has the mentality that you like. Talking about Rastafarian and all this other, I forgot exactly what he's Kemetic or whatever. See, that's your language. But I don't speak that way. In fact, this is how I speak. And this is why so many so-called pro-black, African, Kemetic, Hebrew Israelite, all of you out there having these beliefs and ideologies. This is why you don't like me. And the main reason you don't like me is because I can defend what I'm saying. I can defend what I'm saying. And I don't need a chalkboard. I can defend what I'm saying. I don't have to have books in the background. I don't have to quote from John Henry Clark or Ivan Sermiter or Chancellor Williams or any of these people or Dr. Ben or nobody. I don't have to quote from nobody. I don't have to show off my college education. I don't have to do these different things. I don't have to put pictures from a projector on the wall. I can debate you man to man. And I'm going to express you and force you to use your logic, your common sense, reasoning, and make you re-examine what you was taught. Because all these other things don't mean nothing. You've been sold a product, and you have become a product. Trained like a seal. Trained to jump through a hoop. And for many of you, you say that without God, you're nothing. That is sad. Without my slave master, without somebody else, I'm nothing. Why do you say that? But yet and still you're a king. You're a god. You're a queen and a king, but yet and still, at the same time, you're nothing. So in the comments of this particular video, someone wrote a comment and was saying that they love Sa'Neter because they was lost. They love Sa'Neter because now they know that they are African and they have been learning African history and they feel so much better about themselves. And you know, in our infancy, that was acceptable and it was good because we had nothing. But how long has it been since we were introduced to our teachers, and where did they get their information from? We were made lost, deaf, dumb, and blind. If you lose your keys, Do you know where they're at? If you knew where your keys were at, you would not be lost. If we knew we were for Africa, then how could we be made lost? Then we're no longer lost. We don't know exactly where in Africa, but we have an idea. But that's not necessarily true. There are brothers and sisters, and we ignore them. There are brothers and sisters who say that they have learned because it was handed down in their family. Not only do they have Native American people or blood in them, but their ancestors actually was Native Americans. They know this. And you want to call them a lie. No, you from Africa. We have to use mathematics in these things. And then you have to question the things that you say. Because you say, you say that the racist Caucasian people are liars. Well, if they are liars, who is the greatest promoter telling you and me that our ancestors came from Africa? They are. You accept what they say. I'm an African. And this person, these people that you say are liars and deceivers, they agree with you and they promote that. You don't question them. You don't question them when they say that. But they are liars. Let's do the mathematics. Let's begin when we think that the slave trade started in this nation. Mind you, every ship that came and brought African slaves over to this nation, most of the cargo, a lot of times, the majority, a big slice of those slaves, they died. Then you have to take in consideration the effects on females who were placed on these boats and ships when they came over here. Would not that trauma cause them to miscarriage? Wouldn't that trauma cause them to even become sterile? What is the percentage of the slaves that would miscarriage or become sterile, let alone die, didn't make it here? But yet and still, look at all the slaves in this nation. How did these Africans reproduce so fast? A woman can only have a baby, one baby, most times, every 9 months. We got to take that into consideration. And you were not even given a full boatload of slaves. Many of those slaves were dead. See, there's a lot of questions and we don't ask questions. When I look at my own family pictures, and I always wanted this, but it didn't click. Some of my relatives look just like Geronimo. Some of those Native American old pictures. I'm like, wow. Now myself, I might look more like an African. My father looked more like an African, but a lot of the people in my family look more like Native American people, their features, even their hair. But yet and still I'm told I'm an African. So we talk about this African history. Just because somebody is black, that don't mean we related. If that's the case, since we are related simply because we're black, then you have a black next door neighbor, then you treat that black next door neighbor that you don't know, you treat them like your relative and see what kind of response you're going to get. You have black birds. They are in the same species, but they are not the same. And most times they don't even interbreed. They are different. We are black, dark-skinned people, and we may look like certain Africans or other people, but we're not them. And especially since we've been in this nation and we have been removed from all the other people, dark-skinned people of this planet, we are no longer of them. But we are taught these beautiful fantasy fairy tale stories, Egyptian stories, and Hebrew Israelite and Moorish science. We are taught this to give us high self-esteem, even though there is no direct connection to us, to none of these people. There is no direct connection except dark skin. That's all. There's nobody who can prove they came from a Moor or a Hebrew Israelite or somebody from Egypt. And then we always choose the fictional black people or the ancient black people so that we can be related to. We never connect ourselves to those in Nigeria or Somalia or living modern Africans, because they will either tell you, I don't claim you, you're not no part of us, or they will tell you, or they will tell you you lying about your history, talk about you related to them. So you choose the dead, because the dead man tells no tales. But I can guarantee you, if those Egyptians were alive right now, they would not have nothing to do with you. We are the products of slavery. And you don't like that. So you want to fabricate a history. What you call African history, a lot of this stuff, brothers and sisters, what you have embraced is fabrication. It's manufactured. Much of it was with good intent. It was based on the knowledge that we had. But it's not you. You claiming history that don't belong to you. If you was born in 1950 and your mother was born in 1930 and later on she baked a cake, how can you claim the cake that she did in 1945? You didn't even exist. I know my time, my days, my years is messed up. She would be too young, maybe. You can't claim. That's her history. Egypt, that's their history. That's not yours. That's Somalian history, Nigerian history, Republic of the Congo history. It's not yours. You're ashamed of your own history. I'm not ashamed. You are. And you want to claim the greatness of other people because you've done nothing great. I want to create my own. I don't need yours. See, that's where I'm coming from. I don't need Egypt's history. I don't need Israelite history. I don't need Moorish history. I'm here living today, born in America. I can create and do my own thing. And pass that legacy down to the modern children. We can speak of the greatness of other dark people, but that's not you. This is you, whether you like it or not. And you don't want to accept the reality, so you off into these fictions and fantasy. And that's why Sa'Neta really don't want to promote nobody like me. Because then your DVD sales and whatever, all that begins to falter. Well, I made my point. My time is out. Anyway, jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. And thank you for listening. This was and is Angel Number 7, the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Until next time, love, peace, and soul.